So there is a huge creative crisis happening in the psytrance scene. So we reached at the point where there are certain psychedelic standards and most artists are floating safely within that zone, being careful about what they can and cannot do to stay psychedelic. This mindset created a creative lockdown. We now have more and more artists sounding almost the same. The genre today is built mostly around complex sound designs, endless modulations, and synthesis tweaks. That part is great, but it's becoming a standard. But beside that, there's almost a fear of adding something different to a track because we might be judged by the community as commercial or non-psytrance. In the last few months, I've been diving deep into this, reading about creativity, talking to people who actually built our scene, the pioneers who shaped the psytrance. And it's not just my opinion. Everyone agrees that we are facing a big problem. We are not bringing enough new artists, new energy, or new ideas. We might think this is because the top artists are holding their position with the help of the agencies, and yes, that's partly true, but it's not the full picture. The bigger problem is that many artists are afraid to step out of the box, afraid to be judged or misunderstood. So when I started researching creativity more deeply through books, conversations and reflection, I began questioning myself as an artist. How can I expand? Or how can I grow beyond what I'm used to? The main conclusion is simple: we need to follow our vision and inspiration, even when it takes us somewhere different. Sometimes the right artistic move is the one that feels unfamiliar. In my case, there have been thousands of melodies that came to me naturally, so kind of a pure inspiration, but many of them felt too happy or too commercial. And every single time I deleted them. Why? Because of my critical thinking. So I started asking myself, is my critical thinking blocking my creativity? Am I stopping my own artistic evolution? Artists are by nature insecure. It's a part of who we are. But if we all stay on the same path, afraid of doing something new, even when we know the scene is in the crisis, how will we ever evolve? Should we keep being stubborn, doing what we are always done, and ignore the signs that sometimes need to change? As great Rick Rubin said, we are only a vessels. We receive ideas in the form of the information. We must silence our critical mind so our antennas can capture them. Let me show you a real example. I have a track I was working on, and at one point a melody came out, a pure moment of inspiration. So in this part of the track, I created something which I kinda felt, and I was just playing with a certain synth, and I was playing around and trying to find up certain notes for a certain melody or whatever. So this is my part of the work. Like sometimes I'm gonna listen to a part of the track, and before the next theme should happen, I'm gonna try to play and figure out what that can be. So sometimes just playing a certain note, sometimes I will come to the certain pad or chord progression or whatsoever. So I'm kind of teasing my inspiration and trying to participate into this creative zone without planning ahead. Sometimes I believe that inspiration or something will just happen suddenly. And this is exactly that moment. So I built that part, and there was like the main hook of the first part of the track. So there was an intro, there's a certain groove part, and it was kind of extending. And usually before the break, I like to put some type of the main theme, something the track can be memorized by. So I came up to a certain melody. Of course, as I already said, like I'm thinking now for over a month and more, should I be keeping this melody? I'm asking my friends, I'm asking my family members how they feel about it. But this melody is definitely bringing me the insecurity and something that I'm thinking about. So let's hear it out. Now we can all agree that the melody is kinda happy, even commercial. Maybe it doesn't sound like eclip, but why not? Is it because you never heard something like that from me before? Does that mean I never created such melodies? I can tell you that I've made every type of melody you can imagine. Dark, melancholic, light, emotional, uplifting, all of them. But the question is, if I made several tracks that are dark or punchy tracks, does that mean I should never explore different moods again? And if we all stick to one mood, how can we complain that all the psytrance sounds the same? Now, I'm not saying that different has to mean happy or commercial, but it definitely has to mean new. Right now, our scene is divided even by creative choices, as if experimenting means losing your audience. This topic is important for the entire psytrance community. I would love to hear your thoughts about it, because maybe, just maybe, it's time we open the gates of creativity again.